Hi guys, welcome back. So I am trying a different set for this video today, and it's amazing how I get inspired to do these video topics just from kind of random conversations that I have with people, mainly men. Of course, I'm on the dating scene, so I've been encountering many men lately who have popped up in my inbox because I am on a dating site, right? And I get this message. First of all, how y'all doing? I'm gonna take me a sip of my favorite drink. But I got this message in my inbox from this guy, very beautiful, handsome black man, who says, he actually asked me, would I be interested in having him as my bitch / servant? And it's not the first time I got a message like that, right? Because I'm just like, oh my gosh, here we go again. Where are the dominant men? You guys know that I am a submissive. I prefer to take the submissive role in my relationships with men. I just like a dominant man. You know, dominant man is a man who takes the lead. He's naturally dominant. He doesn't have to pretend to be dominant. That's just who he is and how he is. And I'm encouraging you guys to feel free to comment below and share your thoughts as I go deep into this topic. That's just what I prefer, right? So sometimes it gets under my skin when I get these random messages from guys who are saying, oh, can I be your slave? Can I be your bitch servant? I laugh, right? And so I respond back to him and I say, what the hell? What would that look like? What exactly do you mean by being my bitch servant? And he goes, you know, just like cleaning and cooking for you, driving you around, like doing things for you. And so I'm like, well, honestly, I'm not really attracted to a guy like that. That's not really something that interests me necessarily. I mean, I can't find myself to be attracted to a man who is a bitch. That is a complete turn off to me. I can't even find it in myself to have respect for a man who is a bitch, right? Who basically does not have any kind of respect for himself. So my response was, you know what, I'm not really interested, right? And then he goes, well, if you know someone, a female who's interested, you know, can you let them know? Then I thought for a second, right? And this is kind of what inspired this video, because I thought for a second. I said, let me think. Could I use a man like that? Of course. Can we all use a person in our life like that, who is subservient, who's submissive, who basically becomes our do-boy or do-girl and does anything we ask for, right? Who's pretty much at our beck and call? Of course we can. So my initial response to him basically came from the perspective of dating long-term leading to marriage, right? I'm like, I can't marry a man that's like that. I can't marry a man and have a creative family with a man who I control, who I dominate. Like, that's just I don't see how that dynamic would work out for me. But then I thought, could I use a man like this in my life, right? And I kind of want to get into this in this video. This is what I want to talk about in this video, because I'm like, on one hand, a man like that could be very useful. But I really wanted to get to the root of why. Like, why? I'm always asking the question why. Like, what would make a man, a black man, very handsome? I'm just like, dude, you have like all this beauty emanating from yourself. Why? Why do you think of yourself so low? What is it about this black man that propels him to want to submit And not only submit, because there's a healthy form of submission, I think, you know, from a black man towards a black woman and vice versa. But I can tell it was coming from a dark place. Like, he's asking me basically to treat his ass like shit. And for him to mention the word bitch, right? He wants to be somebody's bitch. Like, what is it, right? What is the root cause? What is the leading motivating factor that is causing him to feel so low of himself that he wants to take on this kind of role in a relationship, right? And he's seeking out this, like, just from random women, right? He's like, he sounds like so desperate. He's like, all right, well, you don't want me. Can you basically find a woman who will take me, kind of thing, right? I'm just like, dude, you have no kind of self-confidence, self-esteem. What is lacking? What void are you trying to fulfill, right? And it made me think about, you know, children, black children who grow up without father figures. And I'm thinking, okay, perhaps he grew up without a father who didn't provide that dominant structure that he needs to become a man. And so instead of pursuing that, fulfilling that need through a relationship with another man, because of course our society detests homosexuality, right? I mean, of course there are movements, LGBT movements, that's trying to promote homosexuality and make, you know, all people feel okay living whatever lifestyle they want to live. But we know there's an underlying kind of hatred and disdain towards people who practice homosexuality. So, especially within the black community, like, we really don't play that shit, right? So, I started to think that perhaps he probably really wants to be with a man. Probably the need that he has, like the deep-seated need, the void that he's trying to fulfill, comes from childhood, way back when he was growing up. And it probably would be best fulfilled in being in a relationship with a man. But because it's not, like, politically correct to be with another man, for him to be, you know, as a man, to be with another man, and he probably doesn't feel comfortable doing that publicly, at least, because there are a lot of black men on the down low that he's thinking about just pursuing that with a dominant woman. Have you guys ever thought about that? It's like, it's safer, right? It's safer to play out that role as a black, submissive man, a bitch man, to play out that role with a dominant black woman. And he gave me, like, the PG-13 version, I think, when he messaged me on the app. Like, he didn't really, like, and I guess I didn't give him the opportunity to either, because I kind of shut him down, like, from off bat. I'm like, dude, I'm not interested. And that's the kind of person I am. Like, if I'm not interested, I'm not interested. Like, I'm not going to sit there and waste my time or your time. I'm going to cut straight to the chase and let you know, right? But he didn't really go into, like, detail. But it made me wonder, like, I wonder if he had the opportunity to go into detail, like, what would he have actually said in terms of his desires? What is he really trying to do, right? Because, like I said, that's the PG-13 version. Oh, I just, you know, want to clean for you and cook and drive you around and just do all these freaking tasks, right? But what do you really want? Like, what do you really want in the bedroom, right? What would sex look like? Now, that would be interesting. For you guys who are watching, what do you guys think about this? It's just like, it got my wheels going for a bit, right? And he messaged me yesterday. It's like, what would that look like in the bedroom? You want to get spanked? You want to get fucked? I've had a guy actually message me on a dating app a while back. And it's like, oh, did you put on a strap on and fuck me in the ass? I think I made a video on that too. About, is it really gay, right, for a heterosexual man to get fucked in the ass? And that video went viral. You guys can go check that video out. The comments is what really got me. The comments. It's always the comments in the video that is really eye-opening. But you know, I'm wondering, like I said, I'm wondering what sex would look like in that kind of relationship. Because that's probably what he really wants. That's probably the dominance that he's really seeking. To get fucked, and he has. But I'm thinking, yo, if you want to get fucked in the ass, why settle for less? Why settle for less by like going undercover with a dominant woman who puts on a strap on? Why just don't go for the real thing and get some dick? You know what I'm saying? Like, live out your fantasy, you know? I feel like so many people put themselves in a psychological cage because they are worried about what other people think. You gotta do you. Live your life. You know? Like, how much free would people be? How much happier would people be if they just live their life unashamedly, uninhibitedly, worried about what people think? Just do you. You'll be happy. But I think that he's putting on this front. And he's selling it for less by wanting to be with a woman, you know. And granted, who knows? Like they say, sexuality is fluid, right? So he can be easy to be a true. He can be a true heterosexual man, not having any interest in being with another man necessarily, or masculine energy, but just wants to be with a dominant woman. But it's something about him wanting to be bitched around, though. What is that about? What is that really about? Like I said, I think it's safer for him. And then let's say if I was a kind of woman, right, who wanted to gladly take on that role of being a dom in a relationship with a man and bitching his ass around, getting my needs met that way. Like, one could also make the argument that a woman who takes on that role could easily be an undercover lesbian herself. But instead of, you know, getting with a woman, a femme woman, and treating her like a slave, she chooses to be with a man and treat him that way. You see these kinds of dynamics, like the role reversal, right? And relationships played out. And oftentimes this role reversal where a woman who is traditionally seen as a submissive woman becomes a dom, and a man who's seen as the dominant person in the relationship becomes a bitch. You see these roles played out inadvertently, and what they're really doing is living out this fantasy sometimes, where they really, really want to be gay. You know, they really want to be homosexual, but they don't get the chance to live that out. So I'm making this video to ask you guys, what do you think about it? I'm curious to see, what do you guys really think? Because, like I said, I could easily take advantage, right? But this is the thing. Like I already said, I'm not attracted to a man who likes to be ran over like a rug, right? And used, and I could easily do that. I mean, I definitely have the wit, I have the skill, I have everything it takes to dominate a man. And in fact, I think that's why I'm attracted to dominant men, because naturally I'm a dominant woman. I'm a woman who takes control, right, of her life and everything in her life, right? So with that necessitates a man, a dominant man, who can match that energy. Because anything less, I'm just going to take over. I'm going to run over. And that's, to me, that's not fulfilling to me. Like, if I could run over you as a man, boss you around, and, you know, I'm telling you what to do, and I'm leading the relationship, and I'm calling all the shots. And I've been in a relationship like that, and I just got so frustrated. I was just like, oh, where are your balls? You have no balls. He was so insecure. It's like, it's unhealthy. He was so insecure. You know? He had many flaws. It's just a turn off. Like, you can see the undeveloped or underdeveloped person in that person, you know, that you're with. And I'm just like, you know, I'm so far advanced than you are. Like, I'm 10 steps ahead of you. And that's a turn off. I like a challenge in a relationship, you know. I like a man who has a plan. Nothing like a man with a plan, right? You know, there's nothing wrong with a man, a dominant man, right, seeking out insight from a woman and wanting to get her perspective, you know, her take on things. But sometimes you have men who are not assertive, and they rely on a woman for direction, for everything. They don't have a mind of their own. I can't begin to explain how unattractive that is. Like, I just look the other way. I completely go the other way. And I've gotten to the point where I can read, like, submissive energy in men. Like, not even having to meet a man, you know. I could just see it in the words that he uses, right? What he types in his message is just like, ugh. You know, it's not a dominant bone in his body, not even a dominant word in his language. And I think, you know, of course you got the fake doms, right? Because as soon as they get wind that, oh, you're a submissive woman and you like dominant men, like, they try to put on this facade and pretend to be what they're not. And like, I can see right through it. A submissive woman, or a woman period, can tell if a man is dominant or not. She can see straight through it. Clear as day, right? Anybody can. You just, the kind of energy, a dominance, and I've said this before many times over, is that dominance is an energy you can feel, just like submissiveness. I don't know what I would do though with that kind of man. It's just, it sounds good, right? Especially for people who like to take advantage of other people and use people. Sounds good. Like, oh damn, I can use a man like that. But that's exactly what it is. It's like, I can use a man like that and throw you away, right? Because that's just what's going to happen. You're going to get used and you're going to get thrown away. Like, you're not going to be a permanent fixture in my life because it's not attractive. But that's what I had to say about that. I appreciate you guys for watching, and feel free to leave your comments below. This is going to be an ongoing conversation, I already can tell. But nice try, guys. And you guys get on my inbox too. Like, I'm over you guys in my inbox leaving all these freaking messages, and I'll catch you guys later. Love you guys. Bye.